Okay, so now that you've got a basic idea from watching the first video on conditionals, it's time for me to explain to you some advanced variations on those basic formulas. So those basic formulas, the 0, first, second, and third conditionals, are actually not so set in stone. We can mix them together to create new meaning. So let's look at a couple examples. If we had missed the train, we wouldn't be here now. Si hubiéramos perdido el tren, no estaríamos aquí ahora. You see that here we used the third conditional in the first part of the sentence because it's a hypothetical past. And we use the second conditional in the second part of the sentence because it's something that could be true now. Okay, another example. If I had a better memory, I could have qualified for the trivia competition. Si tuviera una mejor memoria, podría haber calificado para el concurso de trivia. In this one, we used the second conditional in the first part of the sentence because it's something that could be true now. And we used the third conditional in the second part of the sentence because it's a hypothetical past. And one more example. If they left at midnight yesterday, they'll be here by lunchtime tomorrow. Si salieron ayer a medianoche, estarán aquí mañana a la hora de la comida. So in this sentence, you see at the first part of the sentence, I use the past because it's something that is possibly true really in the past. And in the second part of the sentence, I use the future because it's something that really is in the future. You see, these mixed conditionals can be a little bit confusing, so I really recommend that you look at more examples. Please take a look at the handout I have attached to this video about advanced variations in conditionals. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at some common variations and other possibilities that we use in conditional sentences. So the first one is omitting the if and inverting the subject and the auxiliary verb. We can do this with second and third conditionals. The meaning is exactly the same. So for example, if I had known you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. Si hubiera sabido que ibas a venir, habría horneado un pastel. Here you can see how I changed the sentence to read, had I known you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. And the meaning is exactly the same. One other example. Were I in your position, I wouldn't say anything. Si estuviera en su posición, no diría nada. Also in conditional sentences, we sometimes use should before the verb in the if clause or in place of if. This tends to sound very formal. If you should find yourself with nowhere to go on Christmas, you are welcome to spend it with us. Si te encuentras sin lugar para pasar Navidad, estás bienvenido pasarlo con nosotros. Should people complain about the product, please refer them to customer service. Si la gente se queja del producto, por favor, consulte al Departamento de Servicio al Cliente. Speech act conditionals are used only in spoken language. They are used for requests, corrections, and hedging opinions. These use different verbs and different verb forms than the standard formulas. We use would like to mean want, and we use will to mean are willing or are prepared to. So for example, if you'll step over here, I'll give you an application. Si gustas pasar por aquí, te daré una aplicación. If you'd like to sit down, I'll be with you in a minute. Si quieres sentarte, estaré contigo en un minuto. If you are going my way, I could use a lift. Si vas a mi rumbo, podría usar un ride. If so and if not are used as answers to rhetorical questions with the conditional. For example, would you like to join our team? If so, just let us know. If not, you don't have to. ¿Te gustaría unirte a nuestro equipo? Si es así, haznoslo saber. Si no, no tienes que hacerlo. If or unless can sometimes be omitted in informal English if the meaning is implied. Eat any more of that cake and you'll burst. Come más de esa pastel y estallarás. Keep still or I'll cut your throat. Quédate quieto or te cortaré la garganta. Okay, here I need to tell you about something that is technically an error in native speaker English. So I call this non-standard English. Although lots of people say it, it's technically not correct. So in spoken American English, sometimes the third conditionals are said incorrectly. Here are two examples. Notice my pronunciation. When I say it fast, you almost can't hear the mistake. If I'd have had a little more time, I would have done it. If they'd have arrived on time, I'd have let them take the exam. One more comment about pronunciation. Many students get confused between the contraction of a pronoun and would and a pronoun and had, because the contractions are pronounced and written exactly the same with apostrophe D. So the only way to tell the difference is to notice the grammar around the contraction. For example, I'd give you $1 if I had any money. Here we know that this is I would because it is followed by the verb base. If I'd known, I would have fixed it. Here, I'd is I had because it is followed by the past participle.